Hey folks, Craig Danger, Final Record Player. Oh, back again with, of course, another installment of 5 underrated must-have LPs. What year from now? We're talking about 1972. This is the absolute sweet spot of popular music. Again, I have an opinion. I'm Craig Danger. I'm going to say 72, 73. Ooh, easily my favorite years for both rock and for R&B. So, you know what? If you think this is just going to be a completely smooth ride, I'm going to say you're wrong, and I'm going to say you should buckle up. And we're back. I think we're just going to cut right into these 5 underrated and must-have LPs from 1972. I think we got to start out with TRex. How about the slider? Woo! That's right, talk about the slider. The thing is about TRex is you want to talk about underrated. It is not Electric Warrior, which, great album. In fact, actually most of the TRex albums are good, at least when they're T-Rex, and perhaps less so as Tyrannosaurus Rex. But again, I never really have had much of the material by the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is of course a little more folky. This is your classic sort of glam, riffing, a lot of 12-bar blues action by, of course, Mark Bolan with, of course, the beautiful hat. There he is on the back. Apparently, there was a credit to Ringo Starr for the photo, but apparently that really wasn't the case. Ringo happened to be directing a documentary, and I think it was taking place at John Lennon's estate. And basically, it seems like Mark probably had an auto camera just to shooting shots. Caught him in this, looking great. Looking great with that top hat, as a matter of fact. One of the things that I was reading was that apparently everyone now had been talking to Slash of Guns N' Roses and being like, so you stole the hat from this, right? And he's like, no, I didn't. I'm sure they're great, but I did not steal it. But anyway, this of course was the follow-up to Electric Warrior. Really great album. I think it's well underrated simply because of Electric Warrior, which is, everybody wants that one. Here at the Danger Channel, we're cheap. We are spend-thrifting, and frankly, it's hard to find a copy for Electric Warrior for under, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks now. So just got my old copy of the slider. We, of course, have some classics on this one. Metal Guru, Telegram Sam. This album just kind of lurks along, a lot of really kind of cool riffs. Really your classic era of T-Rex. I don't know as much of T-Rex beyond this era when you get into albums like Tanks, and then there's a few other that are not coming to mind right now. But wow, this is still peak era. Mark Bolan and T-Rex, Telegram Sam, Metal Guru. Ooh, my favorite on this one ends the LP. Of course, would be Main Man. Ooh, that's a smoker, friends. One of my favorite songs by Mark Bolan and T-Rex, produced by, of course, Tony Visconti. This actually was also one of the last albums, I believe, that would chart as high as it did in the United States. Of course, in England, T-Rex was gigantic. Whereas here, I think Telegram Sam, the single, went to about 67 in the United States. And meanwhile, I think he just kept on pumping out the hits in Britain. But not really as well understood in the United States. So that's also another reason why I would call this one of the 5 most underrated and also, let me say, must-have LPs of 1972. The Slider, T-Rex. And I just wanted to again thank everybody for liking, subscribing. Like I say, the likes really help. The channel's been doing really well. I'm above 1,000 subscribers all of a sudden. Apparently people are watching. I'm like, people watching Craig Danger. Whoa, it's crazy. I know, it's crazy. But you know what? It's all because of you. And again, I thank you. Thank everybody for their comments. Certainly, if you have any ideas, any great LPs from 72, which, come on, there's a few of them, please put them in the comments. Fantastic stuff. Loving the comment section lately. A lot of super knowledgeable people watching here. But again, thank you again for liking and subscribing. And if you're a new watcher of the channel, how would you know? How would you know? Is there any way you would know that, Jerry Butler offering The Spice of Life would be one of Craig Danger's favorite LPs? Did he say ever? I think I said ever. What can I say? I mean, if you watch the channel for a good period of time, you know that I love the Jerry. I call him the original JB, which is foolish, because that, of course, would be James Brown. But the fact is this is my original JB right here. And of course, this is a sprawling, epic double album. Got the crazy gatefold here. Oh, looking good. Got some weird sort of, some ladies in a candle flame. Hey, I don't ask, I just tell. And you know what? This album, I've said it before, that's the thing is I'm a huge fan, not necessarily of all eras of Jerry, but certainly his late 60s, starting with, of course, The Iceman Cometh. Woo, great album, but most people stop there, frankly. And that's unfortunate because in 1972, he releases not only The Spice of Life, but a soundtrack to the blaxploitation film Melinda. Not as good as this. This album, I've called it before, the best non-Stevie Wonder double soul LP ever released. I'm Craig Danger. I'm known to make giant proclamations, and perhaps this is one, but again, I think this is by far his best material. Really, for me, peak Jerry is 68 to about 73. Probably ending up with the power level, though Sweet 16 also on the Brunswick label. We got the Brunswick label here. Not much to say about this one. I mean, there were not a ton of singles from this one, which is unfortunate. And one of them was I Only Have Eyes for You, which is like, that's an okay song, but Jerry, what about What's So Good About It That You're My Baby? Oh, classic to start out the album. Again, this is a four-sided double LP, of course. But One Night Affair, one of my favorite songs probably ever would have to be You Can't Always Tell, featuring of course Brenda Lee Eager, who would be his duet partner, and actually in 73 they would release a duet album together. But yeah, this is peak Jerry in my opinion, and wow, the Iceman cometh all over the place. I didn't say that. You could say that though, not me. But anyway, yeah. Jerry Butler, the offering The Spice of Life, or frankly, just The Spice of Life. Big album, very symphonic. Love the production all over this album. The rhythm section is in effect, but again, there's a lot of great string work, and I think I'd call it Baroque soul or progressive soul almost. I'm a little bit enthused about this album, as you might imagine. I've played this one so many times. But yeah, no, double record, and you know what, this one is still available. It's a lot out there. I think Brunswick's promotional situation in the 70s involved giving away a whack of records. So there's a lot of these with a little, hole punch in the corner. This one actually happens to not be that, and it isn't a promotional one either. So this is almost kind of rare. But I will say that, yeah, you can usually get this for under 20. And for a double LP, and for peak Jerry, in my opinion, this is his peak album, not, of course, The Iceman Cometh. Wow, you are not going to find a better soul double LP, but also, basically, you're not going to find another one that is not only underrated, but a must-have from 1972. So, hey, got to give my credit out to the Iceman, Jerry Butler, my man. Oh, love this man, and wow, this is a great record. If you do not have it, seek it out. Like I say, not super expensive, and there are a lot of copies around there. Didn't chart well, but unfortunately, the commercial peak of Jerry's career would, of course, be The Iceman Cometh. So, Spice of Life, Jerry Butler, 72. Gotta have it. We'll turn the page completely here. Whoa! What is this? That's right, friends. We're talking about a little bit of Demons and Wizards by Uriah Heap. Wow. This LP, actually, a gentleman named Pete Pardo from the Sea of Tranquility introduced me to Uriah Heap. Wow. I'm a big fan, but particularly of this album, Demons and Wizards. Apparently, this is, of course, is the first album to feature what they call the classic lineup, as they did bring in a new bassist. And from there, I'm not going to say it was up and up. However, this was kind of their biggest hit in America. Certainly, if you listen to any classic rock radio, you're going to hear Easy Livin', which was kind of the big single. Their only kind of top 40 hit, maybe like 39 or something like that it went to. But yeah, it's not just Easy Livin'. This whole album rocks, and it rocks hard. A lot of great riffing on this. I believe the guitarist is Mick Box, which, I mean, by name alone, I'm like, yeah, yeah. That guy's got it. But wow, really, really fantastic album. My favorites on this one got to be Rainbow Demon. I mean, with a name like Rainbow Demon, how are you not gonna love that song? Ken Hensley playing like really sort of distorted Hammond all over this album, and yeah, really, I think, like I say, I think this is by far their best album, and I have about 3 or 4 of them. Not a lot of big singles, of course, outside of your classic Easy Livin', but this one did kind of put them a little bit more on the radar of a lot of people, at least in America. They were a lot bigger, of course, in places like Germany and even the UK at that point. But this album would kind of spring them, and wow, it's a rocker. And of course, I think it's the same gentleman who does the cover. Oh, nice! Look at this gatefold. Oh, pure rock, friends. These guys are rocking. Oh, yeah. Oh, and you know what? There's a mustaches aplenty. Is all I can say. I think the same gentleman who did a lot of the Yes covers as well did the art on this one. Apparently, this album was originally released as a picture disc as well. Although I believe not too long ago they just released a set whereby all of their original albums are in picture disc form. That obviously is going to be very expensive. This one I think you could probably get for under $20, $25. I'm finding that a lot of classic rock LPs like this going up in price quite a bit. Of course, soul and R&B remains sort of the bargain out there as per usual. But wow, Demons and Wizards. Whew. This one will surprise you. Particularly if you're a hard rock sort of early heavy metal fan. You might consider this proto metal, but I think it's a bit of a stretch. I would call this hard rock, and yeah, little proggy perhaps, but wow, this is a classic right here. Certainly, if you are getting into Uriah Heap, this would be probably what I would go to, or perhaps Look at Yourself, which I believe would be a year earlier. But anyway, Demons and Wizards. Another underrated, but I would say must-have classic from Uriah Heap in 1972. And one of my favorites of all time, easily. It's got to be, can only be, the Isley Brothers. 1972 legendary classic, I'm going to go ahead and say. Brother. Yep, so this, of course, would be their last album on the Buddha label before they moved on to Epic. Their last album before, really, the 3+3 album, which kind of signified the explosion of the Isleys into really a behemoth funk machine of death. Basically because, yeah, man, from after this album, it was a lot of their albums were just very few covers, all Isleys, all funky, a lot of great originals. This album is mostly actually covers, but it's just delightful. I mean, you got Brother, of course, the title track, Carole King. You also got another on the back, It's Too Late on side 2. 10-minute version of It's Too Late. Woo! Really good one, though. Ernie Isley, of course, the guitar player, still alive, actually. As a matter of fact, I saw the Isley Brothers at the Los Angeles County Fair in it was up Ontario. I believe it was in Ontario, California. I saw them last year. Ronald and also Ernie, the guitarist, youngest guy. He's not so young anymore. They're pretty old, but you know what? Ooh, they rock. They're still amazing. There's a good part of the session where old Ronald is sitting on a couch singing his love jams. But hey, I mean, brother's in his 80s. He can do that. It's all good. And you know what? He still sounds fantastic. His voice is fantastic. And Ernie, still ripping. But anyway, this one, classic, but put a little love in your heart on this one. Sweet Seasons. But you know what? The originals are kind of where the action is. You got Pop That Thing is on this one? I think Pop That Thing is on this one. Oh no, yeah, Pop That Thing, classic. But in my opinion, the two giant ones, of course, Work to Do. Work to Do is, in my opinion, one of their best songs. And of course, The Layaway, because he wants to put Her Lovin' in the layaway. For all the kids out there watching, of which I've seen all my demographics in YouTube, there's no one. Layaway was, I believe, a form of payment with which you basically said to the store, hey, I'd like to buy that. I don't have the money right now. But you know what? If you can put that on layaway, I'm going to come back, I'm going to buy it. Layaway. Hot jam on this LP. Again, this one, I think this is really one of their greatest LPs. And like I say, this is sort of signaling a turn towards a more funky side that would start with 3+3, which was probably released the next year. And then all through the 70s, the outfits got more extreme, and as did the funk. So yeah, but this one, I mean, you can't go wrong with this LP. This is cover to cover classic, a lot of great covers. These guys are masters when it comes to covers. And yeah, this is it. This is it. This is what you need. Brother, 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 the Isley Brothers from 1972. Another must-have, also underrated classic from 72. And you know what? I think we're going to end this jam off right here with, oh, have you seen the channel before? Have you seen the channel before? I know what you're saying. You're saying, Craig, that is one gray copy of John Kay's Forgotten Songs and Unsung Heroes. And you know what? You'd be right. You'd be right. This is clearly been in the sun. A little bit faded, as these things tend to be. Not the music, though, friends. The music is fantastic. Super underrated LP, just because, frankly, nobody even knows that this exists. Everyone knows John Kay. You know Steppenwolf, you know John Kay. And wow, what a voice. Fantastic. Well, in 72 rather, he puts this beauty out. And you know what? It's epic. It's fantastic. It's mostly sort of folky, sort of acoustic numbers, a little bit of blues. But you know what? Oh, all good stuff in that voice. I was listening to Steppenwolf 7 the other day and I realized, oh, you know what? Why is the other guy in the band singing? Get the other guy out of here. No other guy, I says to myself. But you know, the fact is that, I mean, John Kay should have sung all Steppenwolf songs. And wow, he is fantastic on this album. Really good. Got the, of course, the gatefold here. Some choice sort of picks. And then, of course, a couple shots of the man himself, including that one. Ooh, how about that? Woo, woo. That one's a good one. Looking good, John Kay. But you know what? Hey, looks aside. Ooh, cool man, but amazing voice. And you know what? This record is one to buy. I believe I'd probably pick this one up for $3 or $5. They're out there in the bins, which is, it is what it is. I don't think this is one of those albums that's going to get a re-release. Didn't really sell anything at the time. I released one single, went to like number 37 or something like that. So unfortunately, this album, and actually also his second album, released about a year later, of course, My Sportin' Life, which is kind of a classic. Can I get a little bit of that? There we go. Kind of a classic as well, but I think, of course, the first album is superior. Wow, really good one, cover to cover. Many a Miles on this one. You Win Again, of course. Walkin' Blues. I'm Moving On. Two of a Kind. All good. This is a cover to cover classic, and I believe it just recently it's available on streaming, and for a long time it wasn't. Of course, John Kay and Steppenwolf, got big time ripped off by their label, by pretty much everyone involved with them. And yeah, John Kay, I'm not saying he's bitter, but he certainly can't be happy with certainly the amount of albums that he sold, and yet the little amount of money that came back to him. But wow, this one, I think he did another album in 78, and he's got a lot of albums throughout the years, but this is peak John Kay, and certainly on a solo level, he's fantastic. If you like Steppenwolf and you don't have this album, I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You need to get this album. This is something I believe you will like, and yeah, you can't hate on John Kay. That voice is incredible. The man is a legend. So again, John Kay, rounding it out, this is the fifth must-have underrated LP. Underrated must-have LP. Whatever you want to do for 1972. Another classic here. And you know what, friends? Woo! That is it. That is all 5 I have today. You know what? I'm probably going to end up coming back and doing this again, because you think there's only 5 like underrated super classic albums from 72? I don't think so. I mean, let's be real. 72, 73, 71, 70, all these years, just legendary albums, you know. All of these excellent albums, wow, just coming out of this era like there was nothing, like they were growing on trees, as it were. So again, like, subscribe. We all know that liking and subscribing actually puts you in line for the throne of England, I've heard. And obviously that's something that everybody wants. Let's be real. Who doesn't want to be king? So yeah, thanks for joining me. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to see you on the next one.